Hey, it's Mo. I always work with natural light, you know this, because I try to keep things on my channel as real as I possibly can. I don't think it gets a lot realer than today in my jammies. Laundry's going, but I figured I'd give it a whirl. Will this thing ever make it to YouTube? I don't really know. It's the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk, and I have it in the color Fairlight. And I totally admit, I think the name is the reason I ordered this, Skin Milk, which sounded very somehow appealing to me. I found it on the Ulta website. At least when I ordered it, it wasn't available in my Ulta store. It was only available online. This is not a first impression. I already know what I think about it, but I thought you'd like to see it kind of in action and see how I apply it and see what you think of it. So I kind of made a mess. Managed to spill it on my pants. Having a great start so far. I really just put this on with my fingers. I put it in the tinted moisturizer category, kind of, although it seems a little bit thicker, I'd say, than that. It's made with coconut milk. I suppose that's where skin milk comes from. It has a scent, but it's very slight. Maybe like the outside of a coconut shell. Have I ever smelled one? No. But it's not a sweet scent at all, and it's quite faint, and I don't notice it after it's on. So this is really how I've put this on the last several days. I've tried it with a few different moisturizers, a couple of different primers, and it's just kind of one of those slap it on and go kind of things. Something I noticed the very first time I put it on, and I'm noticing it again today, and I've noticed it a couple times, that I cannot explain, is that I get a slight grittiness is not the word, but it's almost like there's particles of something in this that I feel it when I put it, like when I actually place it on my skin, but then it rubs away. It's almost like if it had some kind of little dissolvable beads or something, and I don't know what it is. I don't particularly like it. It feels like there's dirt, for lack of a better term, in this skin milk. So I suspect that's just part of it, but it's not a sensation I prefer. So this is the shade Fairlight on me, and they claim it's sheer buildable coverage, and definitely sheer. I mean, you can see I've got spots on my face. Those are still coming through. That actually doesn't bother me. It's supposed to be nourishing and hydrating throughout the day. So you can see, like, it doesn't cover up the redness around my nose, which is usually the one thing I actually like to cover up. You're still seeing like freckles and things like that. Generally speaking, I'd say with the exception of around my nose, which is usually an area I tend to use concealer on, I'd say it evened out my complexion fairly well. So I will say it definitely has like a sheer coverage. I do think it evens things out fairly well, but I don't really get what this is supposed to be. So first of all, let's address nourishing and hydrating all day. The first couple of times I used it, I actually felt like it was kind of drying. Not drying really, but it didn't add any moisture, let's put it that way. I just felt like I was putting on anything, and I didn't have that like good, nourishing, moisturizing feeling, and that was actually one of the reasons I was interested in it. Like I said, for the winter, I'd like something a little more moisture, just a bit. So I'm not getting that from it. I would say in terms of how it wears, I get pretty decent wear. The first day I wore it was like to work, so I just wore it to work for a typical 12-hour day or whatever that is, like from when I put my makeup on until when I take my makeup off. And when I removed it with micellar water, there was still quite a bit on the cotton pad, so I was pleased with that. But a couple other times I've worn it, like yesterday was a great example. Yesterday I probably had it on for maybe 10 hours. It was the day off. I was actually in the car. I was visiting and doing some stuff yesterday. And when I got home, like, my nose was really shiny, and I felt like it had worn away in spots. Um, so I don't get it. I'm okay with a little sheer coverage. I'm fine with that. I'll just throw some concealer around my nose. I can live with that. But I don't get the purpose. Like if it was really moisturizing and sheer, get that. If it was fuller coverage and maybe not so moisturizing, maybe I'd understand the purpose of that. But to me, it fits into a weird category. Um, and I don't find it appealing. I've tried it, like I said, this is at least 5 times that I've tried it, and I haven't liked it any of the times I've tried it. The first time I probably liked it the most, um, but it's not really doing anything for me, really in any capacity. Like I'd rather have either a regular foundation on, which I don't find any more or less moisturizing than this, and I would probably get better coverage kind of in one pass. That would be easy for me. Or I'd rather have a really nice moisturizer that does have some tint that has sheer coverage, and then I'd add some, some concealer or whatever, if that. And it doesn't give like a glowy, it's supposed to be dewy. I'm not getting that at all. I get a fairly flat finish, and I noticed yesterday, like you can probably see here, like it seemed to accentuate my pores a bit even. So for me, it's kind of the worst of both worlds. So I'm not getting coverage. I could live with that if I was getting like really good moisture or like a nice, healthy looking glow, but I'm not getting any of that. So I'm sure you can tell by now, I'm not a fan of this. And, like I said, I like the packaging. It's got a little squeezy tube. I like the color of the packaging. I like the name. They totally got me with the marketing. I totally admit to that. But as I've used it, I didn't love it the first time, and I've liked it less and less every time I've used it. So I really am not a fan of this. I'd be really curious if you've tried this and if you had a different impression than me. I don't understand it. Don't have a lot good to say about this, which I don't prefer. But then again, I think that's valuable too, because if I don't have anything good to say, I want you to know that. And definitely that like weird gritty thing, I don't get it. So if you've tried this, I am so curious. Did you find that grittiness? Is it just maybe the one I got? Do you find it moisturizing? I'm very curious, but I would not recommend this. If it works for you, as always, I say that's awesome. Everybody has different skin, everybody has different tastes, but for me, this is definitely a no-go. So I hope that was helpful. That's always my purpose here. And thank you for hanging out in spite of the laundry noise in the background and the, less than stellar lighting and trying to be quiet because my family's asleep. I just love hanging out, talking makeup. I love that you're here with me. I do appreciate your time, and I will talk to you soon.